The sacred journey starts here. Diné Pride.
Hello, good evening. My name is Ramona Uintili. I am the current sales director for Diné Pride. And tonight I want to welcome you guys to our amazing roundtable discussion with our Indigenous leaders. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in and hope you enjoy the panel that's going on tonight. Thank you and have a good evening.
Yeah, Ramona, thank you. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I am Asekila Sastry. And today we have a great treat. I'm the moderator today. So I would like to invite our very first guest. Once more, this is a live show. We do see your comments below. And I am the founder CEO of Asha Beauty. And what a treat. This will be a great discussion. So the first business I would love to introduce you guys is Mr. Marco Arviso. Hi, Marco.
Hey, Siki, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Thank you very much for having me on this. It's really an honor to be here. Hey, everyone. Shea Marco Arviso and Shea. Nashgala Diné Nishla Hamalati Bashish Chin Twa Edlini Dashache Twa Cheatin Dashanella. I am coming from you from Hunters Point. I actually just moved from Chinle, Arizona, here to Hunters Point, Arizona. So I'm actually closer to Winter Rock and Gallup and I-40. But yeah, thank you very much for having me here.
Awesome. I'm so happy. I'm gonna do a little plug. I am wearing Marco Arviso earrings. They're custom made, so y'all can get it. Alrighty. So the next awesome business owner I'm gonna bring up is Reno from Hushke Clothing Line.
Hi there.
Hi, Reno.
Hi. So glad to be here.
Thank you. We're happy to have you. So please introduce yourself.
Definitely. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Yat A. She Rena Sosi Inishia. Kabahan Nishlin. Kachini Bashashin. Hashklishin Dasha Kat Nazani Dashanella. Sayat Kwahe Dan Asha. Hello, my name is Reno, and I am the CEO and founder of Heshke, Navo Storytelling Through Menswear. And I'm excited to be here this evening.
Awesome. We are so happy and honored to have you. I cannot wait to get in discussion. Are you?
No, I'm very excited.
Awesome. So our next business owner we'll bring on, just to quickly do a quick introduction, will be Mr. Geronimo Louis. He is a fashion designer. You probably already know him. He's all over TikTok and social media. Hey, Geronimo.
Hi everyone, Yat E Shakedo Shadane She Francis Geronimo Inishia Adona na en Shinigi A Chishinashna Honagani Basis Chini Honagahi Dasis Trade to the Chini Dashanella. I'll go to Ego Nishna. Hi everyone, my name is Geronimo. I am Cherokee Apache born for today. My pronouns are he, him, his. And I am the owner of my fashion line, my fashion brand, Geronimo Louis. And I'm so excited to be here with everybody. So thank you for coming.
Thank you. We love you. Awesome. So our next business star is her name is Summer Brown, and she's from Lotus and Lane. Yeah, it's Summer.
Yeah, hey everybody. Hello. My name is Summer Brown. I am the founder and CEO of Lotus and Lane Leather, operating here on the Navajo Nation. My clans are Kiflachitni, Nishwin, Nahishwin, Bashashin, Punagahni, Dashite, Nahishwin, Dashanella, and I'm here from Cornfields, Arizona.
Awesome,
Thank you
y'all.
for having me.
I love Lotus and Lane. I pretty much am building an entire collection. So if you don't know, y'all better get you a nice, awesome wallet or purse or tote. I have them all. So now we're gonna go get into the discussion table. So are y'all ready?
Yes.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Question number 1. Alrighty. So can you name a person who has had a tremendous impact on you as a leader? All right. Mark, go first.
Okay. All right, I guess I'll go first then. I'm used to going first. My last name starts with an A, so I always went first when I was in grade school. So an influential leader. You know, the first person that comes to mind is probably Radmilla Cody. She's my homegirl. She's a good friend. And she's always just kind of said, you know, Marco, you know, be accountable and know about and about make that kind of your foundation. And that's kind of what I've been doing. I've been really looking at that, and that always hits close to my brand, because my brand is really about or my jewelry business is all about having that connection, because you know it's for me it's more valuable than you know than money, than fame or whatever. You know, it's about connection. It's the real feelings of getting to actually get to meet with people, and that's why I love doing what I do, because I get to meet so many people. And I actually have 2 businesses. One of them is my jewelry business, and then the other one is a consulting business that I work with. And the consulting business we can talk a little bit more, because it hits on some of the other questions. But yeah, that would be my answer, along with not only Radmilla, but for me, it's really important. And I think with any other business owner out there, or starting to get out there, is you have to keep your eyes and your ears open all the time, because there's so much good teachings and influences that are happening, not only with with people who are in your field, but also just off your field, because you have to be aware of what's going on. And I think that's really important, because it tells you what's happening in the market for your whether it be your clothing, your jewelry, or accessories. You know, you have to keep your eyes and ears open.
Definitely. We love Radmilla. That's my shutter. Yeah, so we're just gonna if you want to just jump in. I like this question is because, you know, that's like pretty much how we really get started in our businesses. You know, we cover up that why, and people that help us back up our why are these main people. So Summer, who put a really big impact into how you start your business and why, and you know, let us know who's that person or people.
I have several people, of course. My grandmother, um, she's a really vocal lady. She's always at the chapter meeting, you know, voicing her opinions, and you know, trying to speak up for everybody else. And sitting there with her for hours at the chapter meeting, that's where I get, like, I guess, my voice from. And another person is you, Becky. Um, Ever since I met you, you know, we've just bonded, and you have lots of good things to say, how to help our people. Uh, you just break down all these barriers for everybody, and it's really inspiring. And that's pretty much, I want to be like you when I grow up, even though I'm older than you.
Oh, you both make me cry. Stop. But no, that's so real. And that's, the highest human act is to inspire people, and that's from Nipsey Hussle. So we inspire each other. Reno, so who put a big impact into your life to start your business? And, tell us. I want to know.
Yeah, definitely. So there's two people that come to mind, and first it was actually my mother, Anita Sosi. So my mother, she wove rugs, and she was an artist herself, and of course she learned that from her grandma, from my grandmother, her mother, all the way through. It's been this thing that we've carried throughout our family, and I think kind of what I saw very early on through her was, definitely her perseverance. I actually like to call this grit, kind of something like it's that term in business where it's like, you get knocked down, you get back up again. You have a setback, you regroup, you keep going, you really persevere, you push through. And of course, as as many of our own people know, we're very familiar with that perseverance. But I really did see that firsthand growing up with my mother. I think not only that as well, my mother, since she did weave traditional Navajo rugs, was kind of like, how do we take this, our culture, how do we share it, how do we kind of respect, who we are and where we come from? And I think that, as artists, we have an obligation to protect what is sacred in our own culture, but do it in a way that allows for people to be able to come, as guests into our culture, because there's only so much that I can tell from my perspective, and I don't hold all the secrets, and it's not my place to share everything. So I really saw that firsthand from her. And the second person would be actually an advisor in college, Priscilla, and I think she really helped me to really put myself out there, kind of asking this question of like, oh, I would love to be able to meet this person. I would love to connect with them. And she was like, why? Like, why not? What is holding you back? What are these roadblocks you're putting in your own mind that's stopping you? It's, there's nothing really there. Like you have all the talent, you have all of this going for you. Like go after the opportunity in front of you. So I would say those two people really impacted my how I ran my business and really got started as a leader.
Oh my God, that's round of applause. Yes, that's just like everything. I feel like that's when I first saw your business too. And I was like, oh my God, he's speaking the same thing I'm trying to do. And we need
Yes.
more of us to really do that, protect the sacred, and
Definitely.
that's our responsibility as business owners. And I'm so happy you're doing that. Like it really
Thank
means
you.
a lot. So like, yeah. Last but not least, Geronimo.
Oh my gosh, so many influences have impacted us, all of us, I'm sure. As we have all said, we have so many influencers and leaders that we look up to. But for me, starting off with my leadership, I get most of my leadership through women, and that's all of my influences right now are women. Starting with Hunani K. Tracks. I hope I said that right, but she's a Hawaiian activist who is indigenous to Hawaii, and she's just there and like her presence and being and like speaking out to her people and telling them what's wrong and what's good for their people. And I just found that so empowering as an indigenous person overall to be have such a voice be heard. And so that just gave me power and the strength to have my voice heard through my own lungs. As far as my business, it's been, well, one of them, Versace, he's been a very impactful person in my life, just with like his designs, his work ethic, his passion for fashion, and all that is just so like, oh, it's so cool. Donatella Versace, and then you have Aseki. Oh my God, Aseki. When she showed me, like she spotted me out in the parade. This is how we met. We were like at ceremonial in Gallup, New Mexico, And I don't know what I did to make her turn her eye, but she saw me out in the crowd and she's like, "Do you model? Like, do you want to model?" And I was like, "What?" And she just like told me and my friend, like, "Yeah, like we're gonna have a store, all this good stuff, and we're gonna be walking the parade, we're gonna be at ceremonial." And I was like, "Yeah, of course, like, yeah, let's do this." And just that inspiration of like meeting your own people and like saying, I need you to be with me because we need to stick together as Indigenous peoples and make this go. And I just love that so much. And then it just went off from there. I saw her business grow. I was there when her companies opened in person in Gallup and the Navajo Reservation. So such a journey, like seeing that from my own self, seeing another Indigenous person, an Afro-Indigenous person doing that, paving way. um Another person, the last person that I could I could get influence from is Whitson Paul. She is such an amazing designer, and I used to watch her on Instagram and Facebook a little while ago, and then I started following her, and then like she followed me back, and I was like, wow, like, and then the actual fashion designer follows me, and so it just started from there. So yeah, pretty good. A lot of empowering women in our lifestyle in our lifetime right now.
Oh my God, yes, I love Winston Paul. I bought a few of her bags. I bought one for my mom, my sisters, of course,
I have a
myself. You have your bag? Mine's full of jewelry, but it's in my bag packed. So I was like, I couldn't flash it right now. I was like, dang it. But no, thank you all for sharing because, you know, when people are watching, especially business owners or people who want to start a business, they have to understand like we don't start our businesses just because like we all have a purpose. And I'm really big on if you want to go into this, please do this with good intentions and with a purpose and how you're going to help not yourself but your people. Because at the end of the day, that's who we're building this business for our people and the net, and also to help our economy at home and on and off the reservation. So thank you so much for sharing that. So this next question was about Rona. So, it's been a tough year. 2020 was something. We all know that. Um, we ain't gonna talk about that on my side, but let's go into this. So, what is the most important decision you made as a leader for your business during the pandemic? So, what
Do you
made
mind if
you
I go
what
first?
Yeah, what made you a leader and
Okay.
also like what you had to do to like get through this pandemic as a leader in your business as well. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's funny that you asked that question because that's when I actually started my business, like right when the pandemic started. My mom was like, they're saying that we need to wear masks and people need to social distance, and then I was like, we need masks, and I was like, I know how to make those. So like I got to work in making masks for my family. I looked up different tutorials, different methods of making them, materials that are great for protecting, enough cotton fabric to make like a sensible mask to protect you. And so I really got into the research of it, and then I made them, and then people were like, I need a mask too because I go to work. And that's when I started really like really helping my people with their health, like helping them protect themselves, but also like starting my business and like having to have that support through my community, and then like having that support back into me was just like unbelievable and so amazing, and I'm very very grateful about that. And at first I thought like it was a negative thing, like I was like, oh my god, like I'm profiting off of like sickness, but no, like my mom and dad was like reassuring me, they're like, this is a good thing because you're learning how to like take orders, you're learning experience, you're learning how to prepare and like be there for people when they need you, and that's what you're doing. You're taking care of your family, your relatives, by protecting them, by and you're also helping yourself and your own family by getting some kind of income so that you can feed your family. And I was like, you're right. And so that's how COVID-19 has impacted my business, and in a negative way, I just can't get my measurements on my clients myself. Like they have to like through text and stuff. That's the only negative part about it. And also not seeing them in person wearing them. So it's like a double-edged sword, but a lot of very good teachings did come from that.
Yes. Awesome. Who wants to go next? I love that. I have your
Nice.
mask. I bought a few. I bought a few of your masks. Love them. Who wants to go next? Summer?
Well, if not, I could
Okay.
go at the take it.
That's Red's life, I'm
So
telling you.
for me, I think with the pandemic going on, everything kind of was at a standstill for me, and I just kind of started just taking care of family and taking care of my parents, and also just kind of keeping it close knit. And so my business really just kind of went down for a while, and that's what happened. And I think after a while too, I had to kind of just gather up enough courage and be like, you know what? Because you get those thoughts of just like, nobody's gonna buy jewelry during this time. Everybody, and for me anyway, it's like I have to kind of like gather up the courage, and you have to kind of like, you know what, just do it, just put yourself out there. And that's what I did. And I remember when the pandemic started, I was planning to have like a super good year. I just picked up this account in Japan. I was going to have this really great season with Denver March Powwow. And then everything just kind of stopped. And I was just like, oh man, kind of maybe even feeling sorry for myself and, just stuff like that. So I was just like, you know what? I can't stay in that negative mindset. We got to move on. And so I just stuck to it, and I just started getting really busy, and I started promoting myself with sales, and pretty soon I was like hiring people to help me. So it was actually pretty good. You have to kind of like just kind of like, you know what, just gather the strength and the courage and get through it. And that's kind of what I found out is when you trust yourself and you just put your working gloves on and just get it done. So for me, it was good, and I actually had a really good year. So it's pretty good.
Awesome. Oh my goodness. And I know I'm always on your website, and you keep flashing these awesome earrings. Like, oh my God, stop it. But keep it doing, keep going, keep coming. So no, I totally agree. It's just that gut feeling. And we as Indigenous
Yeah.
people, it's just like it's effortless for us. Sometimes it gets scary, but I love that when we do trust ourselves, the end really comes through and it's like, boom, we got it.
Yep.
We got this,
Period.
Reno.
Yes. Yeah. I think for me, I actually started my business. I actually launched open, started selling product in the middle of the pandemic. And, I originally planned to open, early 2020 to begin selling everything. But then everything shut down. Money was tight everywhere. And it was a lot of big unknowns. And it felt like a lot of unknowns for a long time. And at some point I realized, I don't know how long this is going to last. It could be a few more months, could be a few more years, but we still have to continue on the best way that we can. So it was my biggest decision was to actually open up my business, and we opened up to great success. We had a really strong holiday season. We're beginning into the year with pretty good sales. But I think that's just going out there and, as a business owner, you always question, are you making the right decision? Is this what is going to really drive what I do forward? And I think, as a business owner, you really do have to, think about why you started this, what were your goals, and any decision you make, does it really work towards any of those goals? Mm-hmm. And for me, a lot of my goals are to support Indigenous peoples and to uplift their voices and to bring jobs back to the Navajo Nation at some point. And and to tell this and to also tell the story of our people, to share our cultural perspective as well. Is anything that I'm doing working towards those two things? Yes, then I continue forward with it. And of course, opening up, and telling the story that I did definitely work towards through that.
Awesome. You're right on point. I love every bit of it. When you first launch and it's like, oh my gosh, it's so crisp and polished. I was like, yes, thank you. So
Thank
I'm so
you.
proud of you. And to actually launch during the pandemic, like that takes a lot of guts. But you know, when is a good time to launch a business? That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's
Like,
exactly what I thought. Yeah.
we might as well do it now. Stop waiting, right? Summer, you're back. Hey, hon.
Hey, sorry, internet issues. But so I think my decision to actually just keep going helped us a lot. You know, instead of just closing up shop, nobody's gonna buy anything right now. We're in a pandemic, but just the will to keep going and pushing through, persevering, through everything. It helped us a lot, and now we're doing better. Also, I guess putting ourselves in a stable financial situation before any of this ever happened, before we started our business, helped a lot. So, we paid off all our debt before we even moved back to the reservation, and we also saved up, a starter fund to start our business. So I think that helped us a lot, keeping our bills down with our personal and business helped a lot. So I think that's one of the best decisions that we made was to come back home and actually start our business here.
Definitely. And that's gonna go in right into like the next question. Because we're gonna be everywhere. Y'all, those are watching. This is a round table, so that means we're going round and round and round. Alrighty. So yeah. 2020 was crazy. Those who don't know, I opened definitely 2 stores, and I opened the official flagship in Windrock on March 7th, 2020. And little did I know it's gonna be open only for 4 days and closed for the rest of the year and some. But for me, within my industry, people is like it's really touchy. I'm very personable, so if I could hug y'all, I probably would and could right now, but I'm gonna just virtually hug y'all. But my whole thing is our people first, and I'm not an essential business. Those who are like me, it's essential. But it's like, okay, where do we draw that line and think about our people first? So their health and their well-being is more important than money. That's what tags in what Marco was saying earlier. But it's just putting, a human life first and their health first, and our business will stay here. And look at us, we're still here. They're after the post-pandemic, whatever. So now, next question is, Reno, you started your business during the pandemic. So
Yes.
Marco and Geronimo, you started during the pandemic.
I've been going on for a while, yeah.
Yeah, so when was it? When was it? And were you ready financially? And what really just I just got to go do it. What kicked you the gear to do it?
Well, I was actually working as an HIV case manager on the Navajo reservation. And I was pretty much the only case manager in Arizona with Apache County, Navajo County, and then also with Coconino with the reservation. So I had a caseload of about 55 clients all over. I mean, I would drive to Loop, Bird Springs, Tuba City, just everywhere trying to get people who were living with HIV and AIDS to services, to better care. And so that was around when Obamacare came out. And when Obamacare came out, it was a lot more of paperwork for me to do. And I found I was just doing more paperwork, and that's all I was doing. So this was a point where I was starting to see some of our people passing away. And it was really stressful. And so that was kind of the jumping board to really release the stress and everything that I was feeling with my jewelry making and to express my way that way. And it was a creative outlet, if you will, to deal with a lot of a lot of what I was working with. So that's kind of how I started. And I remember there was one specific point, and I think I was in my bedroom, and I was sitting on my bed, and I was like thinking, I really want to do this, but am I ready? Am I really ready to do this? And so it was a vulnerable time for me, but I just was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to dive right in. And so I did. I resigned from my job, and I started doing this full time. And customers were there, products were there. There was a need for the type and the designs of jewelry that I had. So my customers they have the heirloom pieces, they have the squash blossoms, they have the big turquoise, they have the big traditional pieces. My customer, they want something more, something fashionable, something that they can, wear to a conference or something like, other that can be really cool. So, so that's kind of what I was thinking. And so that's where I found my niche, I guess. And that's kind of how I started doing that. And I just wanted to commend you, Summer, for saying something about getting out of debt, because that is one of the biggest hurdles that we as Native people, there's always somebody trying to sell us something, somebody trying to get us to take a loan, or somebody trying to get us to, to get us to be in debt. And so that was one of the big things. So that's that was one thing that we did. We, my partner and I, paid off our house, paid off our vehicles, and paid off all the credit cards, threw our credit cards away. And so that really helped. I think one of the lessons that I learned also was it's not just the money that's coming in, it's also the money as a business that you're keeping in your business. So that was really important. And that's kind of what enabled me to go through this pandemic, and also to keep kind of going through smartly throughout my business, is planning, budgeting, making sure you know how to do these different things, because it's important. Yeah.
Wow, definitely a lot of gems, y'all. Those are watching. I hope y'all took some notes. Thank you, Marcos.
Yeah, if anybody wants to follow up with me, just go ahead and contact me, and I can actually, show you my budgets, because I still have a budget for this month. So
definitely, that is so important. Like, as much as we don't like to, but we have to. That's the only way we can to fulfill our dreams of what we're doing. I mean, there's different levels of business too, and it's like, if we don't got our numbers right, and how are we supposed to excel?
And not only that, but it helps you, because when you have a financial history and you know what that history is, you can anticipate for the future, and you can figure out, okay, can I afford this? How much am I going to spend on supplies? If I'm going to spend this much on supplies, how much would I be spending on supplies for this much? So you look at those trends, and those trends get to help you over the long term. And it's amazing for planning.
Definitely. Hope y'all got that. Those are watching. Love you, Marco. Summer, when you what made you start your business? Your why? What got you started? Give us that little background. Why did you start Lotus and Lane?
Okay, well, when we started our business, it initially didn't start as, it was kind of just a hobby thing. My husband needed a gift for Christmas, so I made him a leather stocking, and just crafting again, because it had been such a long time since I made anything artistic. That kind of put a spark in me and my husband, because we're both really into art. We went to a few fashion classes and community college and stuff, and when we had our kids, it just kind of died or went to sleep, I should say. And so, after I made him that gift, we just kept going, trying to learn, you know, different things using YouTube and stuff. And then eventually, you know, family wanted a gift for somebody. They placed their orders, friends, and you know, it grew from there. And we were like, I think we can do this. So it didn't really start like as a passion thing, but as we've grown and, you know, moved back home, we saw the potential that it can grow much bigger and help everybody here. You know, we can create jobs and opportunities for everybody. You know, we have so many ideas and passions that we want to use our business for. We also, you know, as far as like financial literacy and everything, I think that is something that we as business people need to help our people, you know, learn and do, because it's hard to see people out here, you know, struggling because they have loans and everything. Yeah, so when we got here, you know, just the passion for wanting to create jobs for everybody and other opportunities and other avenues and helping other small businesses or other entrepreneurs. You know, we have so many things that aren't here that, you know, we can create. So I think just helping people eventually came to the forefront of our business and why we're doing it.
Summer being modest. She's gonna be the next Hermione. Like the high end luxury bag. Like she's over here like, girl, you know you're gonna do good. That's the goal.
Thank you. I hope so.
I'm gonna hype you up. I got you. I got you. Reno, what made you start Hushke? Like, you know,
okay.
yes, give it to us. I want to know too.
Okay, so I'll try to make it brief, but I always have this anecdote where, I mean, okay, for one thing, you know, as Diné, we see our stuff everywhere. We see our sand paintings be ending up on like somewhere in a magazine. We see our weavings end up, you know, somewhere in a museum. You see our things everywhere, and once you become very hyper aware of it, you kind of realize that, like, wow, they got that all wrong. Wow, wait, who is this person telling this story? Like, obviously they're not Navajo, because like they wouldn't have done it in this way. They wouldn't have, like, even things too with, like, you know, with like seeing some ads of, like, you know, some turquoise silver jewelry. You know, it's kind of like, oh my gosh, why are they wearing them on these two fingers? Are they zombies? Like, what's happening?
Exactly.
But I think kind of what the point I'm trying to make from that, though, is that, you know, I saw a lot of our culture out there, and I thought that there were, and I'm talking about in the contemporary world, you know, and kind of things that we would use, wear every day. And a lot of it was kind of wrong. And I think the most notable case that kind of really got this conversation started on a national level was the whole incident with the Navajo Nation and Urban Outfitters. You know, kind of that, like, those motifs. I mean, it's kind of funny because they call it Navajo, even those designs aren't strictly Navajo per se, but it's like on a flask, on these panties, on these, like, things that are just kind of odd. And I thought to myself, you know, I think there's something to be said about being an authentic voice out there and creating something that's contemporary, that people can live with and wear and represent every single day. But the thing that really did kind of like that really tipped the bucket for me and pushed me to really start this was, so I used to work over at Neiman Marcus here in Dallas, here at the corporate office. So I did merchandise planning, and I was involved kind of behind the scenes at the corporate level. And I would see, you know, that there was this one campaign that was with our sister site, Bergdorf Goodman, you know, the retailer in New York, and they did a southwesternly themed photo shoot. Looks like they came to Albuquerque, and, you know, it's kind of this faux pan-Indian kind of thing, and it's like a Stella McCartney fringe bag or something, and it's kind of like, okay, like this is all wrong. This is not what it is. Like, you come into our house to tell other people our story and you get it wrong. Like, what's up with this? So from there, and you know, that just seeing in luxury fashion, just kind of like a lot of brands just missing the mark on this. So I thought to myself, okay, where can I fit in? Where can I contribute? Because, you know, there's, for one thing, there's so many amazingly talented Indigenous artists out there who are incredibly talented both in the contemporary and traditional arts. And I wanted to be like, so where's my place in this? Where do I fit in? And I saw an opportunity in menswear. You know, there wasn't a whole lot of Indigenous brands that were, you know, catering strictly to menswear, that weren't, and also not catering to the middle market as well. You know, you have the high end, one of a kind, thousands of dollars pieces. You have the entry level, you know, price points as well, but no one's kind of in between. And I thought to myself, you know, as a 20-something, Diné man living, you know, on and off the reservation, where's something that I can wear, that I can, you know, have every day, that I can put on, and people don't think I'm going to a graduation or something, a Native graduation. And that's what I created, and that's kind of what really got me started, and kind of what continues to motivate me to create and do what I do, is telling this authentic story of our people in a way that that definitely respects my family, where we come from, but in a way that's new. Because I 100% believe that, you know, part of our culture is taking in new materials, taking in new perspectives, and making it ours. You know, I always tell people, we didn't always have silver, we didn't always have sheep even, you know, but with every introduction into our culture, we've been able to create something beautiful and something that's ours and something that shares how we see the world. And that's what continues to motivate me every day.
Yes. Oh, yes. I love it. Now I know why your whole business is like super crisp.
Yeah.
Your background, I'm like, I knew it. I was like, he either hired somebody or now I know.
Yes. Well, yeah.
Love it. It's so beautiful.
Thank you. And I think that's the thing too. And I think for kind of it for other people who are thinking about starting their business out there, you know, our people are incredibly talented. You know, like, well, let me tell you, the first time I went to a flea market, you know, just like a regular flea market, like in California, I was like, wow, this is like a lot of like resold stuff. Like, where's the jewelry? Like, where's the beauty in what people create? Like, I don't need this old wagon or whatever. But like, I think, you know, we have a lot going for us. We're very rich in our resources of understanding beauty, understanding art, understanding culture. But I think something that is, as I think as my fellow business owners can probably agree to, the financials is something that no one really teaches you. You either have to learn it yourself or you hire someone to do it. And I think, you know, my background is merchandise planning for a large company. You know, that was what I saw. How do you plan inventory? How do you, you know, mark things up? How do you price things out? And I think at the end of the day that it was important to me, you know, as a business owner, I have to pay myself at the end of the day. And I think that for anyone starting a business out there, you know your worth, and to definitely price things that takes up your time and your energy and your creative thought, because that is valuable too.
Yes, awesome. I love it. I'm your new fan, just let you know. Last but not least, Geronimo, what made you start this amazing fashion line?
Oh my gosh. Well, at a young age, as I recently got published in Vogue, or no, it's not in the Vogue article. I'm sorry. I said it on the Instagram on my post. I don't know if some of you have read it or not, but I stated on there like where I actually began and like what got me in trouble and what started my whole fashion experience, and that was my mom's robe. and she had this terrible robe. Terrible. It was pink. It had frogs, not even the cute frogs. It was like, no, mm-mm. I was like we need to do something to this because it is not giving. I watch you walk to the kitchen to your bedroom, and I don't see no life in that. And so I just grabbed a pair of scissors and gave it some fringes. I was like, there you go. It's chic. Just kidding. She was so mad. She was so mad. She was like, what did you do? And I couldn't really explain myself. I was just like, I had to do something. I had to do something. But she threw the robe away because it was not wearable. It kept fraying on the sides where it was cut. So, you know, but that's
I was
where
gonna
I
say, can we
basically
see it?
can we see it? Is it in the archives? I wish. I wish. Can you imagine like one day I
Yeah,
have
you
You
like
should
should
a
have
have
hug?
saved
kept. You
it.
should have kept it.
I should have
Exhibit A. This is my why.
exhibit right.
No one's allowed to wear this.
Maybe I'll remake it and then sell it. Who knows?
Oh
but
no.
but yeah, so that's where it started, and then ever since then I just like always looked at clothes differently, the way I dress myself, the way I express myself. I was in the rave scene at one point in my life, and I used to make my own like fat pants with like so many like cool quirky things on there. And I don't know, my grandma used to sew a lot too when I was younger. So I used to sit there, play in her scraps, look at the way she made things, and that's what really like helped me envision what I wanted to create. And then I didn't really get my skills until like middle school when I took home economics, and then from there I could like actually like sew. But with all the LGBTQ people out there, I'm sure you all know this, that like when we come out as feminine, when we come out as expressing more of ourselves, we start to like take back little more and more because of like society norms. And so that's what really pushed me back further when I was going towards it. A lot of like my family members would like judge me for it. And so I was like, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe like I should like not do fashion. Maybe my mama's right. I shouldn't have put fringes on her robe. But you know, I grew up and I said I love what I love and I'm gonna do that. And so at the end of college, I told my friend and I told myself, I was like, I'm gonna start making my own clothes for myself because I want to start dressing the way I want to start dressing. And that is ribbon skirts, that is gathering skirts, that is traditional clothes, that is what I like. That's what I want to look like. I want to represent who I am. That is feminine, masculine, indigenous, Chiricahua, Apache, Diné, and just be that. And so that's why I started and I made my fancy shawl outfit and then I went to ribbon skirts and you know people started noticing and it, to the point where a fashion editor had noticed me and wanted to cover my whole story about that. And now I'm published in Vogue on the website. And so that was really amazing. You know, and that's all I dreamt about as a young child. And when it happened, I was like, wow. But that's basically what I wanted to do was create a sense of community within myself and then reach out to others and like welcome them into it. Because growing up, I didn't see a lot of like two-spirited people, visibility. I didn't see a lot of like men wearing dresses as they wanted. And so I wanted that for myself and like, you know, inspire someone else if that's the opportunity that I get with it. And also just like cater to my community as a two-spirit person because I know the fear of going to someone, a dressmaker who creates traditional clothes and be like, could you make me like a traditional outfit? I know that fear. I know that hesitation. And so like that's where I want it to be too, is like if someone wants to wear a skirt, if someone wants a ribbon skirt who's two-spirit, I'll be that person for them. I'll get you done. And I have got them done. I've sold like so many skirts now for two-spirit people and cisgendered people and, you know, all kinds of different people. And, you know, visibility was my main goal. And, you know, backpacking off of Reno, as he said, like, I don't want to look like I'm going to a graduation party or something like all traditional. Yeah, that's that kind of like that's kind of the stereotype that most you know Native American people have to go through, and that I faced when I started wearing my traditional clothes. People used to be like, "Are you going to your graduation? Where's the ceremony?" And I'd be like, just kidding, like go off on my gosh, and be like, like seriously, like that's I wear turquoise, I wear silver, I wear concho belts. I'm Diné, I'm Chiricahua Apache, and I'm gonna be that person until I die. And so let me put some flavor into the traditional and make it not look like I'm going to the graduation or ceremony. Maybe I will be pulling up. I don't know. I'll be looking chic at the peyote ceremony.
Inauguration.
No,
Right?
yeah,
Yeah.
just sitting in the
Love
tipi,
it.
like. But
Don't
yeah,
forget to tag me.
right. Medicine man, get up. Okay, just kidding. but
Silly.
but
But you're
and
right.
yeah, so that's the kind of like the stereotype that I wanted to break down too for so many people that do dress traditional every day. Like Naomi, she's a rug weaver. She dresses traditional every day. And so like that's the kind of people that I want to cater to too. And then to people who want to dress temporary and like look indigenous every day, but like more modernized and like represent themselves. Um, Representation, culture, appreciation, as Reno said too. That's a very big part of my work too, as an Indigenous person who is a business owner and also working with traditional aesthetics. It's very important that we get the story right this time as this generation that comes upon, because we have suffered so many historical traumas, racial injustices, bigotry, sexism, and all these different things that we need to like conquer down on and be like, hey, no, sand paintings are traditional, sand paintings are sacred. They're not just paintings, they're actual ceremonial purposes. You just can't take that and put that on a bag or some kind of fabric. Or we have actual meanings for turquoise and silver. And my work is sacred. You can buy it, but please respect that and know that these things that we're sharing actually have meaningful power to us. And you should be honored that we actually share that with you. And so that's where actually I'm coming from too. But like, I've also understand that like I don't always want to dress people in my traditional clothes because I'm just like, white people in turquoise. Just kidding. But um it's a little tacky. It's a little tacky. Y'all mess that up for yourselves. Um, you know, I've also learned that for myself too, that I can't always like cater to everybody, and so that's where I'm expanding my business now into lingerie, where I'm wanting to dress everybody who loves lingerie. And as an person, representation right there. Indigenous peoples in fashion, makeup, artistry, photography, illustration, storytelling, these different things, we need representation within all these categories and say, we're still here. This is our story. Listen to us now. And yeah, that's it.
Awesome. I love it. I cannot wait to get my black robe on. I'll be home soon, so you get my measurements. Put that out there. It's
Exactly.
recorded. So yes, I said it. Awesome. I love everybody's whys. My why is a little longer. Not today, but I commend you all. Like, I'm just so 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 excited about it. Like, I love each and every one of your businesses. Like, oh my god, I cannot wait to get my husband some of your clothes, Bruno, so he can look fly.
Yes.
So yes, yes, I'm that customer. Like,
Same.
Yes.
I want that now. Awesome. Next question, guys. So, what is one mistake you witness leaders making more frequently than others? Ooh, who wants to go first? Are we talking about leaders now? Ooh,
I'll go first.
okay.
I think so. I mean, I wish I could say a lot of things, but I think probably something that I've noticed a lot, speaking for our community, is I think that leaders are afraid to admit when they're wrong, that they're afraid to to admit when they didn't get something right and to be able to grow from that experience. And I think that's even more powerful to say like, hey, I was wrong about this. Hey, we didn't know this was going to happen. We know now. Let us learn from it. Let us keep going. And I think that for some reason, I often see leaders kind of just, dig themselves in a hole. They just, keep putting their heels in the ground for something that honestly, at the end of the day, like everyone can see through it. You're not being a champion for anyone right now. And I understand, for our leaders, I want them to guide us, to lead us, but I understand at the end of the day, they may not have all of the answers. And I think that's very apparent too with this pandemic. No one knew what was going to happen. No one knew anything really about it. But whatever we look back and thinking, how can we learn from this? How can we grow? I think it's probably the most important thing that I think I think a lot of leaders need work on.
Awesome. Yeah. Whew. Well, I'm gonna hop on this one because I feel like there's a lot of things you already know. I know. But I feel like our leaders, I wish they could be a little bit more open of listening to the youth too. We do respect our elders in each of our works. We have to learn to balance our traditional life in our modern world. Right now, we're right in the thick of it. How do we balance it, from our governmental level to, even our major corporations here at home? The youth, they always say the youth is the future, so come back to us. We're not going to hurt our people. We're not. Like, we really want to help, especially Navajo businesses and what we had to jump hurdles and pull red tape off, et cetera, et cetera. Like, it shouldn't be that hard. How can we open businesses off Navajo very easily within days, weeks? But on Navajo, we have to give our firstborn child. I feel like, honestly, that's just how it feels. It's just like, what? But it's getting better in a way. There are leaders, especially in DED, that are open mind. That's another thing, to have open mind, because all our businesses can play a major part in our economy. I cannot stress that enough. So makes us to really practice that sovereignty that we talk about. We can't say we're sovereign, and then we're waiting for our hands out, and we're back in that stereotype that the whole world sees us to be. So we as small businesses, major businesses, because I'm gonna speak that on all of us, we're gonna be major multi-billion trillion-dollar businesses. I'm speaking on that. And we get to really help our people without asking them to help us. You know what I mean? So definitely hoping the leaders, just be more open-minded to at least have a discussion with us or businesses. So I'm waiting for next election time. Be like, I'm gonna be that one at council, like, who's all running? Oh, what's your plan for Navajo businesses? Oh yeah, I'm being very, very vocal this time because the pandemic showed a lot of stuff. So who's next?
I just want to piggyback off of Aseki and just say, yes, go out and see who you need to vote for, because that is the main reason why elderly people, the council, do not listen to us as Indigenous people, young folk, because we're not there and present. Majority of the time, it is our elderly who is going to these meetings, chapter meetings, official meetings, listening to these different statements happening, different stuff happening, and they get to vote on them. We're not there. Like, we're too busy on our phones. We're too busy doing other things, when we really need to start catering to our own sovereign nation and taking upon that our responsibility as leaderships, as young people, because we have gone too many years seeing our leaders neglect us and a people as a whole. And I think I do want to state this, like, we have to remember that Navajo Nation was not built for the best interests of our own people. And that's a hard pill to swallow. The Navajo Nation is a business. It is business run on coal, oil, and other minerals from the ground, which our ancestors and medicine men said to leave alone. Did we listen? No, we didn't. And that's not our fault? Yes, it is. We need to take accountability as young people and as old people. Yes, we were wrong, but let's do better. Let's bring in indigenous businesses into Winter Rock, into Chinle, into different kinds of parts of the reservation, make money, get that scholars, allow them to get an education and come back and make more businesses through clear and sustainable ways. And that's something that I take upon myself as a responsibility into my fashion part. I recycle, I upcycle, I reconstruct, I do different things that I leave a footprint that is like unseenable in our world. And how could I say I'm Diné if I'm not looking out for my own community, if I'm not looking out for Mother Nature, etc. And so, those are the kind of things that we need to really get into the ball and understand and correct and point out and take accountability for.
Yes, 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 and yes. Rena, you want to hop on this
Yes,
one?
Geronimo, that was spot
That was
on.
awesome, Geronimo.
That was awesome. Like, you got me speechless over here. I'm like, all of that.
Thank you. Yeah, like, I get that
I
a
think
lot from older people. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go
no, it's
ahead, Summer.
fine.
Oh,
I totally agree with you. Everything that you said is exactly it, and we need to encourage our youth, to attend these meetings, watch the Navajo Nation Council, see what's going on, because not everybody has our best interest. Yeah, we voted for them, but that's where you have to do research about people and vote the people in that are speaking for you. Um, I think that you know the Navajo Nation government is like kind of mirror the U.S. government, where it's all patriarchy. There's nothing but men in the government and higher powerful positions. Where that's not how our uh, Navajo people are. We are a matriarchal society. We need to listen to our Masanis and stuff. Like it it can't continue to be just men undermining what women are saying. That's not how it's supposed to be. And I think we need more women, more younger people to run for these offices and everything. Also to attend the meetings in order for us to have real change. Because, like I said, not everybody's in it to help the people, and that's not how it's supposed to be. They're doing that for their own interest because that's what they see from the U.S. government.
Yep, that's so true. Well,
Anybody
I
else?
think, oh my God, if everybody is, I could go next. This is just a big issue. Where do we start?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Oh gosh, I think just the bureaucracy and a lot of that is grown from, like Geronimo was saying, is how our Navajo Nation was modeled by colonial ideals to extract our natural resources, our Shamanahastan. So a lot of that goes from, and it's played out to what we see today with the bureaucracy of the Navajo Nation, of the tribe. And I think that's also fueled in a large part with just the damn sexism and the damn lateral oppression. Like we see a lot of that. I mean, just coming up, and I have a lot of privilege as being a guy, and I go out to these different events, and I do acknowledge that privilege. But there are times when I try and to move my business or to have something done just with my business, I see our own Navajo people putting that negativity out. And it's like that's the first thing that they do is like, don't do that. Oh, you need to do this, and it's just like, don't do that, don't do this, no, or it's like so much negativity. And it can be discouraging. discouraging especially when we're dealing with our own Diné people. It's discouraging. It's discouraging, and I always try to just remember, we're here as we're family, and that's supposed to, to those teachings are supposed to alleviate a lot of those, and also just thinking about just the way that we're trying to grow our business and to get things out there. It's just kind of I guess it's kind of hard just to battle all of those things. I think another thing too with our leaders, to our business leaders, I think a lot of that time is one of the biggest things that I see is probably consistency. Actually switching now to businesses and getting our leaders up there. We need to get to the next level in our businesses and creating good business leaders, people who can actually get to the next level, because we do have that talent. We do have people who create these amazing things, amazing pieces of art. But we need to, in a way, we need to have a model of where we can carry that out and actually have more business from that. I don't know if I'm making myself clear, but yeah, that's kind of what I feel.
Perfect. I love it. Oh my goodness. I love all our questions, y'all's answers. Like, yeah, this could be a whole nother roundtable of itself. But we're gonna take a quick 6-minute break and we're gonna show a video. It's about the annual Arizona Two-Spirit Powwow, and I just want to let them know that we support you guys on behalf of the Navajo Nation Pride. So y'all don't go nowhere. So stay tuned.
A powwow is basically a social gathering. We come and dance, show our regalia, show our beauty, and dance to wonderful music that has meaning, has spiritual meaning. Almost like a blessing. I feel that there's this big old bubble of spiritual energy just surrounding us. And of course, we have our ancestors here that are pretty much dancing alongside us.
Today, we are having our second annual Two-Spirit Powwow. Last year, we had our first. We got a grant from the Pride organization for Phoenix.
Last year, we had about 24 dancers, and this year we have 64.
Traditionally, powwow is something that is very gender biased. So we kind of wanted to erase gender, and we kind of wanted to create a safe space for Two-Spirit individuals.
Thank you, Standing Horse dancers.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ian Austin. I am Mr. Southwest Two-Spirit. I'm also part of the powwow committee. I really wanted to say something specifically to the Two-Spirit community that is here with us today. I want to let you know that this was created for you, a safe space for you, a place that you can go and you can feel welcomed and you can feel safe and you're free to be who you want to be. The phrase Two-Spirit, that was coined back in 1990, so it's a relatively new term. And it was from elders within the community that were at a powwow, and the powwow didn't have a dance for them.
It's someone who is able to help wherever needed in a village or community. So, but they were also someone who just feels that they are both men and women together.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tay Titla. I'm your current reigning Miss Supreme Pride 2020 and your current reigning Miss Apache Diva forever.
It really depends on where you hear it and who tells you about it. I heard the traditional term from my tribe. My grandpa used to call me it when I was younger. It's not derogatory, but I didn't know what it was growing up. I didn't know that he knew that I wasn't going to be the average child. My tribe, the Two-Spirit roles they had were taking items and information from the men to the women. So he would say, go tell this to that.
We knew as Indigenous people there's more than a man and a woman. There's a third gender, there's a fourth gender in some tribes. I'm Navajo, and in the Navajo way, LGBT people had a place in our tribes. And because of colonization and religion, unfortunately, we lost those teachings. So my organization, Native PFLAG, we are bringing back those traditional teachings.
Good afternoon, my name is Vanessa Losi. I am the currently reigning Miss International Two-Spirit. I just want to say that the first time I won a title, I was in boarding school. I was 14 years old, and things were so different back then. We used to have to lock ourselves in a room and hide and perform our pageant before the dorm attendants came in to check rooms. And so it's really something to see all of this happening and to be able to be here.
I came from a really small town. We made fun of it, and it was bad. That was like the education that I got.
Back in the 80s and 90s, we didn't come out.
If this Two-Spirit powwow was here and there was any type of visibility for anybody Two-Spirit, transgender, or gay, it would have made my life so much easier growing up.
I found out my daughter was dating a girl, and I talked to her about it. I wasn't prepared for that discussion at all. That day that I found out, it ended in both of us crying. I didn't understand. That same day I asked my son, and at first he denied it, and then later he said, yeah, Mom, I'm gay too. And that was the beginning of my education. My daughter said some things to me I'll never forget. She says, Mom, why would I do this when I know society's gonna be against me? She also said she wasn't going to tell me until she got to college because she didn't want to be a disappointment. And that's really hard for me to even think about that to the day because she's amazing. And I realized that I hadn't made a safe space in my own family, my own home for her to be who she is. And so when I started learning more about the community and all the challenges and all the things that are against the community, I said, I gotta do something. I have to do something. Two-Spirit people were healers, they were medicine people, they were mediators, they were part of our culture. They have been for years and years. We have to bring that back because there should be no shame in being LGBT or Two-Spirit. There should be no shame in that. In the Navajo culture, we say that it's a blessing to have, extra special blessing to have a child who is LGBT, and I could totally agree with that because I've gotten so many blessings from my children.
And we're back. Okay, let's all just take a moment. That was a beautiful, beautiful video. It hits home, and I just want to let everyone know Navajo Nation Pride has many partners across the country, and we are very proud to be the largest Indigenous LGBTQ plus pride in the country, in this US, right, y'all? So thank you to the Two-Spirit Powwow and the PFLAG community organization. Oh my God. That was very touching. How are y'all doing over there? Y'all good?
Very touching too.
Okay, because that one, oh my goodness. It's amazing. And it's gonna just after watching that, we're gonna go right into this next question. Sorry, y'all. I'm emotional. I'm a Libra. I'm a comrade. I'm an ally to the Nation Pride, to the community. So I feel everything that was being said because me being Native and Black is the same thing. It's the same pain. So I really love that we can truly, change the narrative and to create a better world for our people, for our future generations, so that we don't have to ever have them feel this pain that we all feel today. So those who are watching, like, hold your loved ones tight. Hold your loved ones tight. All right, y'all ready? So get your life together. Get your life together. All right, question. How have you uplifted the voices and experiences of our LGBTQ relatives within your businesses? Who wants to go first? Marco.
I could go first. So I'll take this one. Okay, so with my both businesses, I have one of them is a consulting business, and it is I offer the service of teaching some or facilitating evidence-based group interventions for different clients, and most of my clients are in the state of New Mexico. So I work with New Mexico Department of Health, and we create these groups for Native gay men, and we look at facilitating positive change for the community. And they're small groups, and their primary focus is to reduce HIV and STI infections. So it's not all what it's about, but it's what we're funded for. But it involves so much more. It's of reducing stigma, education, looking at our identity, looking at sexism, looking at sex, a lot of different taboo topics. So a lot of things that we look at, shame, and we talk about and discuss. So I think that those different groups are really invaluable to our community. And then with my jewelry company, I do set up fashion shows. I don't actually target the LGBT community per se, but what I do is I provide a space for everybody, not just LGBTQ, just for every person, every human being who wants to be a part of it. We create that safe place for a lot of these creative individuals, fashion designers, to come together, because when they show their work, they're exposing themselves, their creativity, and that's really strong and powerful. And so we want to make sure that we have, that we're creating that place, that strong place for them to do that, whether they're LGBTQ, cisgendered, heterosexual, just everything. So yeah, so that's kind of how I've been able to I guess help LGBTQ.
Awesome. Summer.
Okay, I can go next. I wanted to say, Marco, that what you're doing is amazing. I like hearing, how you're helping people. So
Thank you.
my business is kind of just getting started. We haven't really had time to do everything that we wanted to do as far as photo shoots and campaigns and everything. But we do want to represent everyone, that hasn't been represented in the fashion industry. And so, when we are able to hold photo shoots and everything, I want to kind of use my resources and jewelry, fashion, makeup, everything, models, from the Navajo Nation, and all people, we want to include them in our campaign, just uplift them, and to show that we're more than what people see, So, yeah, when we get back together, that's what I plan to do.
Awesome. I love it. Reno.
Yes. I think I think this again, I do have to say, Marco, I think what your work is very important and very amazing. So thank you for providing that service for our people. I think it's very important and something that's definitely underserved. So again, thank you. In terms of my business and providing kind of support around the LGBT community, so when I created Hashcat, I really wanted it to be open and inviting, and for really all to come and experience and to embrace. I think something that I definitely am very clear about, though, is I say that I create menswear for, it, and it's not necessarily in the sense that it's like things are specifically gendered. I don't say males. Menswear is the spectrum of masculinity, and I think that's something that's is very apt for the name of my business, Hashke, because tradition tells us that Hashke is not exclusive to males. No matter what anybody says, that's not what it's. That's not who it's specifically for. It's Hashke is refers to these. Feelings of masculinity and being able to use that power, that strength to help the community, to protect others, to help with our families, and I think that's something that I'm sure that members of our community can attest to back home of, people have this sense of this is what men should be like, this is what women should be like, this is and I think that's all wrong. That there is definitely a spectrum. This is definitely something that that I think is not necessarily talked about a whole lot, and it's something that I do want to bring attention towards, that as a menswear brand, that we are aware of this kind of spectrum of masculinity, but also too, as a menswear brand, we need to be a voice to speak up, in our community. I think that's it was really great to hear of all of the work and attention given the previous week to the missing, murdered Indigenous women and that whole group. But I think something that was a little silent, though, was from our men. Where are our men speaking about this? Who are the actors in this in this real issue that's been going on for a long time? And I think that's something that I'm trying to work on with my business as well. From our perspective, how do we create spaces? How do we protect our community? And how do we really hold members of our community accountable as well?
Wow. Beautiful, beautiful. I love that. Geronimo.
I swear, like every time she says Geronimo, I'm just like, hi, I'm here. Like I said earlier, my whole start of my business was visibility for Indigenous queer people, whether that be Two-Spirit or Indigenous queer people. And, just as Reno and Marco said, they just want to provide for everybody, because that is our traditional teaching, is that we don't exclude people. Ket does not discriminate, as Ramalda Code says. And, we just create a sense of community, whether that be like creating just things unisex, or like, not putting gender on things or stuff like that. But, for me personally, I just be myself. That's like, I used to just like make dresses for myself, and I still do that. I'm still working on that. I make dresses for myself, and then I post on Instagram. Representation does matter, and that's what I do for my community. I show them that like it's okay to wear turquoise, it's okay to wear your earrings, it's okay to be, dressed the way that you want and wear a skirt and just, be in your presence and your beings, and providing that sense of comfort when they do come to me and like want to buy something. Yeah, it's an amazing feeling, actually, like getting to know so many other Two-Spirit people. When I first came out as gay person, and then from a gay person to a Two-Spirit person, I never knew anything about Two-Spirit people. I didn't know any Two-Spirit people, but once I started like being more of myself into like my identity and providing more caters for like fashion and stuff like that for my community, that's when I really started getting a sense of like who, what, and all that kind of good stuff. And so it's really empowering to like cater to my own community today and like just express ourselves the way that we want.
Awesome, awesome. I love it all. For me, I'm gonna hop on this one too. It's just creating a safe space. Especially for me, I have retail spaces and I've heard so many stories about how people feel going into Sephora, anybody, male, female, two-spirit, transgender, when they go into a Sephora, they felt like all eyes were on them. They didn't feel wanted. And they always felt like they just were just there to push product down their throats, And hearing those stories, I knew that when I open up my stores, that you'll see the pride flag sticker on the front of my door. You see it instantly on both locations. So it's marked as a safe space. And when you walk into the stores, you'll feel it's going to be warm. You might smell some sage burning and everything, but it's a warm feeling. And for me, I always felt that, especially in the beauty industry, people think they forget who created these trends, these cat eyes, the contouring. I mean, that all came from drag. So it's like you cannot forget where, the trends come from. And I'm like, as a brand, I don't want, just to support, Pride just in June, but to always be in the forefront, like, no, it's all together. We're inclusive from day one. And, it just brings everybody together. It's just uniting people in beauty for me. And then within my own handbook, it's not he, she, you're male or female, I have it open. It's how do you want to identify yourself? How do you want me to identify you? So
how do you want to identify?
where's that come from? Is that me? Okay, so anyway. But yeah, so that's my part of, my Asha B side. So next, guys, we're almost done. I know we're about to wrap up soon, but alrighty. So briefly, what is the biggest challenge facing Native businesses leaders like yourself today? I know.
As a business operating on the Navajo Nation, I think that infrastructure is something that's missing. We don't have the luxury of just going down the street and renting an office to run your business out of. So most of the businesses are home based, and it can be kind of tricky to get people to trust you because you're running your business out of your home. So maybe being able to have those spaces, also, just the support from other leaders, up there that, supporting that we're a small business and that we can be more than that, instead of always looking towards like corporations or enterprises to be put here versus building up a small business to help our people, which is even better. You have pride that it's your own people's business that helps you.
Awesome. Geronimo?
Oh my gosh, a struggle today that affects me. I don't know. Like, I've been in business for like about a year now, so like there's some struggles, but I think those are just personal struggles, like procrastinating. Just kidding. Finding measurements. No, I did not know. I did not know that like charts on the web are so different from other charts from like, and like every business, every brand, every place has different measurements for different sizes. And like when I have to tell that to every customer because they don't know that either. I'm like, if you're getting measurements from charts online, like don't do that. I need like strict measurements with measuring tape and inches. Give me that. I can work with that. But that's just something small. But as Summer said, a lot of it has to do with our own people not supporting their own people. And that's something that I try to do is like buy from other owned Indigenous businesses and promote them and give them love and spotlight, because we all need that. We all need that sense of community, or else we're not going to get anywhere. You know, we're not like white people where we're just like, you're on your own. No, like we have to be in this. And that's how we always been resilient and going forward as Indigenous peoples. That's our teaching as Diné people is we have to learn from each other. We have to help each other, or else nothing's going to work. You know, and that also goes into holding each other accountability, holding each other to these priorities that we as Indigenous uphold as respect and honoring our own people. And, you know, as Reno said, with missing and murdered Indigenous women, not a lot of people understand that and get the sensitivity of that. There was a fashion designer that was recently called out in Canada for creating a clothesline that was specifically made to be for Indigenous women's missing and murdered. But a lot of the family members had like reached out to her and was like, hey, like this is really triggering. Like this is really disrespectful and you need to stop it. And you know, like her clothes were just like, it was like blue, it was like red dots on like sheer fabric, and it was supposed to represent like the numbers of missing and murdered Indigenous women. But really, like when the families of the victims look at it, they thought of like blood splatter, and they're just like, and you know, that's kind of the thing that we have to be careful of as Indigenous business owners, you know, and like be considerate of our own people. You know, and that's why I personally never like create anything that is merchandise for MMIW. Like if I'm talking about MMIW, I'm talking about MMIW. I'm not, you know, I'm not you know, like I'm not making clothes to talk about it. As much as like people think that's inspiring and like wanting to do, you know, we can't always do that. We have to use our voices. We have to stand up as people of Indigenous communities, and you know, people look at us as leaders, but it's not just us. Like it's everybody. We all have a voice. We all have power, and when that power comes together, shit, like people. I'm sorry, things can get done. But yeah, like Reno like was on spot with that, and that's what I just wanted to put out there is like, you know, be careful what you make, be careful what you produce, make sure that you're respecting our culture, our issues, and get a sense of like community ship. And that's what we need is like talking to each other. Like, and that's what I kind of, yeah, that's my struggle today. Community, you know, Aseki is probably like the only person that I really go to for like advice. And like, you know, I kind like we relate on that level now. Before I was just like a consumer to her, so we were like friends. But like now that now that I'm on her level on Vogue, you know, like
Yes.
I can have those sorts of conversations with her. And you know, but I would really love to like have different conversations with different other fashion designers. You know, one of the questions that I want to get down is uh like like appropriation versus appreciation, and like, you know, where does that fall into? Because I create skirts. I know for a fact that I can't sell ribbon skirts to a non-indigenous persons for sure, because that's not my culture. Ribbon skirts originally come from Ojibwe people, and so I have to respect that, and that's what I know. And you know, and like we adopted it, many different tribes adopted it, so like I respect that, and so I would never sell that to a non-indigenous person. And but like our skirts as Navajo people, like the gathering skirts, like that's very like well known between other tribes and other like nationalities. And I've seen like some other big designers make that same skirt but like different, and I'm like, where's my community? Like, we need to have a chat. We need to call chief and council real quick, because I'm trying to get down. I'm trying to get my bank from these white people. I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's something that we need, is a sense of community.
Awesome. Awesome. Alrighty, we're gonna go into one more question, y'all. Alright, so last question. Can you share a story of how you have become a better LGBTQ plus leader or ally for Diné Pride for us? Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll go ahead and start.
I'm like, okay, silence. I'm like,
I,
wasn't sure
I
if we're
have
talking.
I have LGBTQ plus family members and friends. So, there's no way that I can ever not be an ally. You got to fight for your family uh, and others just as a human being. Nobody made the choice to be an LGBTQ plus person. So just as a human being, just loving other people how they are, no matter what, it's common sense to me. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be that hard. And like, if any of my children were to ever, be that way, I can't not love them. So, I have to have love in my heart for everybody. And, you love who you love. And it shouldn't be anything to discriminate about. And as a Black Indigenous person, we get the same treatment. So I can't treat somebody the way I'm treated if that doesn't make any sense. So, I'll always be an ally.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. Rito?
Yes, I think that's something that I really believe in, is that being speaking out, being visible, really highlighting, people within our community. And I think that's something that I think it takes time, because, I've growing up, and when I came out and everything, like the idea of coming out is like, you're coming out into this world where people didn't accept you, where, and even back on the reservation, back when I would wear, something like my, shorter shorts or what have you, you have people who just drive by on the res who are, giving you, giving you an attitude about it, giving you a lot of things that just don't make you feel safe or accepted in your own home. And I think that being a business leader here, being able to speak out against that, against behavior like that, and I think it honestly takes time, because I feel like, at least for myself, that my voice was very small, because on many levels growing up, you have some elders saying, don't do this, don't be that way, don't act in this way, don't do this, don't, no. And it took years for me to find my own voice, for years to find my own confidence. And if I can kind of create help create spaces where other folks, much like myself, to understand who they are, I would like to be able to do that for them.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Marco?
I think that's a large part, is just the visibility. And well, first of all, I just want to say, the last before the pandemic, the Navajo Nation Pride, that was fun, and actually really surprising, because when I had attended, I attended as a vendor, and just the setup, everything was just like amazing. The logistics, the entertainer, it was really put together really nicely. And I was like, whoa, this is a nice pride. So yeah, this year I was really looking forward to it. And I just wanted to, to thank all of the planning committee and El Rey and everybody with Navajo Nation Pride that put that together. That was just amazing. I can't wait for the next one. And I think, like Rena was saying, is just being a business owner who is a gay male person. Just, I'm just having visibility, just being myself, being out there and creating my work, and connecting with other people, and also knowing my boundaries with people, not doing really business with people who are going to be, opposing humanity. So, I won't put up with that. So yeah, that's kind of how I've been and how I will continue to be. So.
Beautiful. Geronimo.
I'm sorry. There's like so much. What was the question again?
Oh, geez. How do you use your platform to support the LGBTQ community? And yeah.
Let me just pull up Instagram and show y'all what I do. Just kidding.
Follow me at.
Follow me at. No. Social media is basically, what I like to do is like post myself and create visibility for myself and other two-spirit people, and making sure that I create a sense of visibility for younger generations before me and older generations before me too, because I have gotten a lot of like comments from older two-spirit people who are like, "You're so cool, like I never got to do that, but seeing you do that like makes me want to do that." And I'm like, "Well, let's make you a skirt, baby. Come on, let's go. I want to see you twirl. I want to see you make some bread in that skirt and that velvet top. Like, let's go." Um, yeah, and like being part of Diné Pride, also on the council, being the youth director, it's like my responsibility to create those kind of spaces, create visibility, talk about certain things that affect us as LGBTQ people in the Indigenous world, and offering that to my viewers on TikTok, on Facebook, on Instagram, and just overall representing our people. And yeah, it's just a lot. I can't get the thought out of my head of Reno running in his like little short shorts. I'm like, why is that kind of hot? Like, I want to see that.
Like they're not even running shorts either. They're just shorts. They're just shorts you just wear. Like
Even better.
Yeah.
I'm about to make a whole sportswear and be like, after Reno, like name it after Reno.
Inspired by Reno.
Inspired by Reno. But it's funny thing. Just on that note, is I just released in my product line a line of men's socks, and I just I put to Instagram stories of pictures of me wearing them. But I just thought, how do I do this? Like, how do I take photos of my feet in the air that doesn't look weird?
I swear. Yeah, that's marketing is a very like tricky soul situation. Like just like overall making it look aesthetically pleasing, getting it out there. I am tired. Like I don't know why, but like every time I make a new outfit for myself each month, it's funny because my family calls it like your issue. They're like, "Is your issue done? Is your January issue done? How's May's issue coming?" And I'm like, "I haven't got to May. Hold on, I got these orders to finish." But like once I'm done and then I go outside to take pictures, it is windy, and I'm like, "Diné, thank you for the wind. It's helping the hair, but the outfit, come on, like give me some stiffness. People want to see the pattern." But it's overall funny.
I love it. I love it. I'm very excited for this year's Diné Pride. It's gonna be my first time to actually attend. I would attend virtually. I was just never home when when they had it. I was very bummed of last year, but at this time, I just like to use my platform, all of our platforms, our voices, and being a true ally means being there when you get that call, to be just there. Period. All we need to do is just be there. So those who are watching, please have an open mind and an open heart and be understanding. And, you know, we're people. There's only one race called human race, and that's us, humanity. So, alrighty, guys. We're gonna have to wrap up. I'm gonna give each and every one of you guys a chance to do a quick closing remarks. Throw your plugs, your Facebook, Instagram, everything. How can our viewers get in contact with you and all kind of good stuff? So, Marco.
So thank you very much, everyone, our sponsors, for allowing me to be a part of this roundtable discussion. Thank you, everybody, for your time. All of my colleagues here. You guys have amazing stuff, amazing and beautiful items. And you can shop for my stuff at marcoarviso.com. And I'm on Facebook and also on Instagram. So thank you very much.
Awesome. We love you, Marco. And once more, I am wearing a custom design earrings. You gotta get one. Not mine though. You can order one. Sorry. Geronimo.
Isn't that so funny? Like how we're just like, not my design though. You tell my silversmith that is my design.
Oh, he already knows. Because people
Yeah,
are like,
like
I want it. Nope.
yeah, like people always come for my ring, and I'm like, no, this right here is my ring. Don't you be going around asking for people for my ring, because this is Geronimo owned. I bought it. Me, my silversmith, we designed it together. So sorry, just kidding. But oh my god, just Navajo things. But thank you everyone for coming. I really really appreciate this. Thank you to Marco, Sunny, Reno, and Asteki for being here today. It's really awesome to hear all your voices, your perspectives. For sure, be reaching out to all of you for more help if I need any. But you can find me on Instagram at geronimo.louis. You can find me on TikTok at geronimo.warrior. You can find me on Facebook. I wouldn't recommend Facebook because that's like for me, my friends, my close friends. But yeah, that's where you can find me, find my style. You can order from me, just DM me and I'll be happy to help you.
Awesome. Yeah, so get you a face mask by Geronimo and that and some lingerie. Hey now.
Yes.
Summer, my darling, how can we get a hold of a Lotus and Lane luxury bag? How do we get to you? I know how, but they need to know.
All right. Well, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Lotus and Lane, AND, Lotus and Lane. We also have a website, lotusandlane.com. We are working on some new things, so keep a lookout, follow us so you can see the new items when they drop. I also want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you, Diné Pride, for having me and all the sponsors. Thank you. And I can't wait to work with you guys. I will be reaching out to everybody here. I got some ideas.
Awesome. Right now, how can we get a hold of some amazing Hushcat items, products?
Yes, of course. So my main site is hashcat.com. From there, you can sign up for emails to be able to kind of get the latest word. Sign up for that. It's 15% off your first order. We offer free expedited shipping over $50, and we do ship worldwide to Mexico, Canada, and the European Union, and hopefully soon to Australia and New Zealand. So, and we can also be found on Instagram and on Facebook as well. Instagram's kind of the best place to see kind of our more visual items. Post a lot of questions there too, because I love hearing from my audience and my following too. Because I want to know what's important to you as well, and kind of what anything you would like to see from me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, y'all, for taking the time to be a part of our roundtable today. And time is so precious. It's priceless. So again, Skarsgård for sharing that time with us and helping us kick off the Diné Pride 2021. So I would like to also thank the Arizona Two-Spirit Powwow and partner with Native PFLAG for that amazing video. It was beautiful. Had to give them one more shout out because they had me like choked up for a few seconds. So it was beautiful. Navajo Nation Pride, the Diné Pride, will start the week of June 14th, and we'll have several virtual events, and we will host the first Indigenous Pride Parade in person, because last year we were all in cars, or my family, they participate, so we were in cars. So this time is actually going to be in person. The Pride Festival and Drag Show on Saturday, June 19th. So I'm super excited, y'all. So I hope those are watching, mark your calendars. I hope to see you there. And we'll also practice, it's still COVID, Rona's still out there. We're going to practice safety precautions, making sure we're wearing our masks, sanitizing, all that stuff. Y'all already know we were locked in for 2020, so y'all know the drill. So we can actually do this. I'll follow all health orders. Y'all know. All right. And our biggest sponsor this year is the 24th Navajo Nation Council. And special thanks to Speaker Seth Damon for his leadership. So and Skazgo to our Natanis out in Windrock for supporting us and to making sure that this event is happening. Alrighty, guys. So for those who don't know, who are viewing in from all over around the world, the Diné Pride will be held in Windrock, Arizona. So those who don't know, Windrock is our capital of our amazing Diné Nation. So right in front of Navajo Nation Council, which is historic, y'all. Wow, look at us just breaking barriers. I'm so excited. So I would just want to just thank y'all once more, Asha and Skazgo. Thank you to Navajo Nation Pride for having us have this roundtable and, just getting us all together and sharing our stories on your platform. And thank you so much for all of our LGBTQ relatives for your resilience, and you are sacred, and we love you, all of you. And yeah, hope to see y'all soon. Mark y'all calendar, Diné Pride 2021. All right, y'all. Bye, y'all.